Hi, everybody. My name is Lee Honish, and I am the former head loss mitigator for IndyMac Bank's HELOC division, and I'm simply not wired like the rest of you. Why is that? It's probably the way I was brought up. I'm actually a fairly shy, withdrawn person by nature, and I prefer to be alone most of the time. Most people don't get me. I was a D minus minus student at best, maintaining an awesome GPA all the way through college of a 1.5. Awesome. And ultimately I found out that I was dyslexic, and that was what was holding me back. But one of the more disturbing things about my life is that I was abused growing up in school. Now, I don't tell you that for sympathy. I tell you that I am no different than any of you, and recently gone through a really bad messy breakup. My father recently died. Those are real life things that happen to all of us. I don't let those things hold me back. In 1988, I started working for my father's company, doing REOs and foreclosures. I wanted to be a chef. My father told me that was the dumbest thing he ever heard. And 30 plus years later, I'm still in the same industry that I started in 1988. I've worked for three major lenders. I've been an executive. I've been an asset manager. I've been a retained asset manager, for that matter. I've held many different jobs, including property manager, which is the lamest of all the jobs as an asset manager. But I've done it all. Most people know me because I worked at IndyMac Bank in the HELOC division. I was there when they got the first short sale in 2006. And then in 2007, I started teaching real estate agents all over the country. Over a 3 year period, I did 3 to 5 live presentations per day for 3 straight years, training tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of agents live, and millions of views throughout the World Wide Web, which was sort of coming into its own at that point on restreaming and video content of that nature. Not like it is today. 10 years is a big difference. 2010, I opened my own company. I became a private consultant. I created marketing that was specific to distressed properties, and that was really at the bottom point of the market. There were still many short sales and many distressed homeowners. I want to get this out of the way. In the history of real estate, there will be people who always not pay. I have had a job historically since 1988 because there are always distressed properties. Anyone who's missed a payment 31 days at 5 p.m. is in default, and that is a distressed property. Got it? Well, I created marketing so that I could meet these people. I understood dramatically that they didn't answer the phone, they didn't answer their door. So traditional real estate marketing methods failed with these homeowners. I created a marketing program, uh, and I spoke all over the world based on that marketing program. And it's been 11 years of coaching and having students and creating content based on each year. And I'm still doing it to this day with my new company, Home Advocates. We have a mission. We're here to help 1 million homeowners and to train 1,000 real estate agents. Well, we've reached 10% of our goal. I think we have over 100 agents. I think we're in the new program. I have close to 1,000 previous students that are still on my email list that I still hear from, that still pop up on these live events with all of you. And I am humbled and flattered every time I see one of them appear and they find out what's going on. They are part of a family that I'm a part of. I am their dysfunctional Uncle Lee, the crazy guy who worked at the bank, and I think that's how they all see me. I am the Punxsutawney Phil of distressed property. When I show up, it's not good news. I have been doing this again for about 3 or 4 months, and the live presentations and the feedback and the people that have gotten involved has been pretty incredible. Not many want to shift, but many know that there's a market shift ahead, and we're going to certainly talk about that here today. In fact, we're going to start right into it. I'm going to tell you the 10 things that I know are wrong with this market right now, and they are things that you should watch. And I'll go through each one and I'll actually answer your questions. Number 10, the eviction moratorium is over. I'm sending you guys all a link. I'm looking over at you. I'm sending you guys all a link right now. Okay. And on that link, there's a couple of really important things that you need to look at. Okay. It takes you to our event page, right? Up at the top is a replay of last night's webinar. There are 2 links to sign up. And then below it, it says tools and links. For being on this webinar, you're going to get a couple of gifts. Number 1, I'm going to invite you to my Wednesday coaching call. I will send you that email tomorrow for being on this call. Number 2, you can download marketing pieces, the exact same ones we talk about here on today's call. And number 3, you can download today's PowerPoint. Now, from an informational standpoint, our podcast is here as well. Now, the top 2 are the ones you want to be able to keep an eye on. The first one is an article by the Chicago Tribune. I was stalling for it to load the page, oddly. If you scroll down, it will tell you how many people are in default, or at the time of reporting were in default, and the programs that are available in each state. So they're all available and they're all there for you to take a look at. The next link is eviction state by state, and that's what we're talking about with the eviction moratorium being over. So if you scroll through this one, it is a graph of each state, graph of each state that'll tell you whether or not evictions are on or off. And I'm telling you, excluding a couple of states, evictions are on. They are definitely on. People are starting to receive eviction notices, renters, homeowners, notice of defaults, notice of sales, list pendences, auction dates. All of it is started and has started again. So it's something to keep an eye on, and you can definitely keep an eye on this site. And this is the NOLO website, NOLO, evictions-ban. I think it's a great tool for whatever state you're in. I like it a lot. It's extremely helpful. There you go. Number 9, 1.6 million forbearance agreements. All right, time for me to start educating you. I think we all know the number of people that are in forbearance. I'm sure you've seen reports that say as low as 1.1, and there have been some reports that say as high as 2 million. At one point, it was as high as 3 million. I'm just kind of splitting the difference. So I'm going to cover it right here, right now. 31 days at 5 p.m., you're in default. If you are in default, you were offered a forbearance agreement when the pandemic happened. Some people took it because it was out there, but let's cover what a forbearance is. It's a default on your property for the amount you're asking for. In this particular case, they did a 1-year forbearance. So if that's $30,000 worth of payments, they're taking that and putting it on the back end of the loan. Well, here's the unique thing about what they're doing with these. As of 14 days ago, they stopped not reporting it to credit, right? So you had a chance to pay it back, or you risked the bank putting the forbearance on your credit, and you are in default. It's a couple hundred FICO points. A lot of people took out forbearance agreements not knowing that it would have an impact on their credit. I am here to 100% confirm to you, if you have a forbearance and you have not paid off that forbearance prior to the end of this last month, you are in default on your loan. They're estimating somewhere between half to 3/4 of these people actually selling their homes. You can believe whatever numbers you want. I'm only stating facts. Number 8, 7.5 million unemployment checks have ended. And in fact, I just got a text that I would couple that up with. 4.6 million people quit their job in the month of August as well. So I don't know what the jobs report says or doesn't say, or what it's curving the numbers to look like, but there are a lot of people not working. And as of the end of this last month, there are a lot of people not collecting checks anymore as well. These will have dramatic impacts on the real estate market. Number 7, the interest rate is still way too low. Yes, they're trying to inch it up, aren't they? I think we're at 3.1 or 3.15 or whatever. That thing needs to be way the hell up. The fear is if they start to do that, then real estate will stop appreciating, along with the equity that the government can count as wealth that it's created for people who own houses. That's the game. That's all it is. There's nothing more to it. There is nothing inside of me, and there should be nothing inside of you if you do real estate for any extended period of time, that should lead you to believe that they are going to leave the interest rate as low as they are. They will raise it. Okay? That's a fact. Number 6, the values are way too high. Yeah, we overinflated, right? So because of COVID or whatever, and making money basically free, our values jumped through the roof. In some cases, it was based on supply and demand. Almost every single real estate agent in every single market that has sent me an email wants me to believe that it's all based on supply and demand. And in fact, the number one thing that I am told, that I'm outside of being a fear mongerer, or I don't know what I'm talking about, is the fact that because we lack inventory, prices will continue to grow and maybe just plateau. I am here to tell you categorically, I was in the class of saying the market's just going to correct itself, but mostly plateau. I have changed that. I changed it about a month ago. I categorically state that the market is going to crash. And here's why. They refuse to come off of that interest rate, which means you're continuing to sell prices at the top of the market at an unbelievable interest rate, right? That is ultimately going to be a problem, right? Because that's creating appraisals that are now overvalued on people that are refinancing. You're creating a bubble. They're creating a bubble with the interest rate and creating values that are going up, because once one house sells, then I read a report that Zillow is bubbling areas, right? Like they would buy 4 or 5 houses in an area, sell 3 or 4 at one price, and then the 5th one they sell at $40,000 or $50,000 more, accelerating it, or the second to the last one, and then sell the next one at a higher price. Like they were actually laddering. I don't know if that's true, but if I owned 5 properties in the same area, I would do it. It makes sense. Number 5, the renter evictions. They have begun. They will have an effect. You're talking about millions and millions of people being openly evicted. There's no way to get around it. That will create news. That news, right? That news will scare homeowners. So from a traditional real estate standpoint, people are going to be less likely to sell their home if they think the market is starting to just correct itself. Let's just downplay it to a market correction. Is your pitch when you walk into a house to sell somebody's house? Hey, sell your house now. I guess these prices are going through the roof, but on a month by month basis, it's going the other way. Are the days on market, like here in San Diego, actually going up? Are you like Boise, Idaho, where you have too much and you're actually starting to see what looks like a market correction at this moment, but it's the beginning of a crash for them? The realities are all very much these things. Got it? Once the renters start to go, that will create a media following, because it's not about homeowners. They have equity. They can get out and they can cash out that equity, and they're protected. That's the way the media sees it. It's the way the government sees it. Hell, it's the way John Oliver saw it about 4 weeks ago at the end of the first moratorium go-round, when he did a piece about generational wealth and equity. It's a thing. All right. Number 4, consumer confidence is at 70% that we're in a bubble or something's wrong with the market. This is mostly the millennial crowd, but it was one of your hotter buying crowds. I'm sure we could continue to keep making money for free, and perhaps there is still a group that will continue to buy. The number one thing driving this market is still investors buying property because they want to buy property even at the top of the market at fair market value. Got it? Real estate is a commodity. It never loses its value. Does it crash? Yes. Does it go back down to a certain point? Yes. Will it always go back to that number and more? Yes. But if we move over to what's about to be a renter's economy, my opinion, not a buyer's economy, more of a renter's economy, because there aren't enough property. People are moving over and rents have gone up, right? We're moving to a renter setup. It would make sense as an investor to buy anything you can at whatever price, because rents are now, they compensate to, right, to what's going on for mortgage payments or lower mortgage payments. But rents have gone up dramatically over the country. It's a thing. Number 3, the FICO reporting system. If you did not know this, during the pandemic, the FICO system was turned off. There was no negative reporting. Before the pandemic, we had millions and millions, approximately 10% of the entire United States was failing to make its car payments. At that point, FHA loans were struggling at best, and then the pandemic hit. Well, people still haven't made car payments. We're at the highest point of student debt in history. And now we're going to have people that are going to be evicted. Let's go back to renter evictions and the impact on overall real estate. That's going to be like when a renter gets evicted or a judgment from court that goes on their credit. It's something to remember. And certainly those forbearance agreements are going to start being reported. Otherwise, people will not be able to borrow. People are going to ask to borrow or refinance their house, right? So FICO has to be kept up to date. The interesting side note to this is that the federal government actually had on the floor a proposal to aggressively take over the 3 reporting agencies and make a government regulation for FICO reporting, if you can believe that. I can't imagine how that would work if the government got involved or if they just planned on resetting everybody's FICO scores. But whatever the case, that was their plan. Number 2, foreclosure reports and filings have increased. They've increased to about 30%. Last check, it was 26. I rounded 30%. It varies from market to market. On average, the lowest I've seen is 20%. The upper end is closer to 30%. So use whatever number you'd like. We have started seeing more and more NODs, notice of sales, appear on the market. I would recommend going on Realty Track and looking at their global notice of default, auctions, sale dates, things of that nature. You can see it rolling heavier from the East Coast. It's affecting places like New Jersey and Florida more aggressively than from Texas over to California. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. The very simple way to track your market and see where you're at, and I would highly recommend this to anybody, is to order some notice of defaults or notice of sales from your title rep and ask for the entire county. And when you get that number, let's say whatever it is, that's 30% of your market. Now figure out what the other 60% looks like by doing the math. And that's how many there are at this moment. Bare minimum of people who've missed payments just coming back online, which aren't even fully back online yet. Prior to the pandemic, none of them cured. Okay, that's the term when you pay off, pay current, or work out a deal with the bank. The term is cured. There were close to 400,000 people that were delinquent, excessively delinquent. Notice of default, notice of sale are greater. Okay. Number 1, the government failed to fix it. So this is the other one that I get out of a lot of real estate agents and certainly out of homeowners when we're going to meet with them. The government will fix it. Well, I think the media did a fine job of kiboshing that for everybody. Good word, kibosh. The media did a good job of putting the kibosh on that. And here's what I mean. They had $46 billion in renters insurance or payment insurance. And I think they only got 2 of it out, maybe 4. And even up till the last moratorium, they were still trying to push it out the door. And then they were trying to get it to investors. And then they were trying to get it to anybody. I think they're rather terrified and they've just sort of given up on the subject. And I will be happy now to see if you have any questions on any of these at the moment. Pause this. Hey, let's do 10 things that I'm keeping an eye on that actually scare me a little bit because these are wild cards. Any one of these 10 that I just gave you would be enough for a market correction. These are all happening simultaneously. So for people to say that there aren't going to be defaulted homeowners coming up is crazy. And for people to not think that there's going to be a crash in a good deal of markets, a correction in a number of markets, and certainly a plateau in the rest is insane. To say that look at the projections from everybody for next year's appreciation, right? So we were doing like 26% appreciation on prices or some ghastly number like that the last time I heard it. Now people are speculating. I've heard each quarter, I've heard a different number for next year. So the first quarter, we're gonna increase by another 20%. By the second quarter, it was down to 15%. Third quarter of this year, they corrected it down to 10, and I'm sure by the time we get through this quarter, somewhere in this quarter, they'll say 5% appreciation for next year. That's a dramatic difference in the market, okay? And you have all of these factors going on simultaneously. I am still amazed that real estate professionals actually say to me that there's nothing happening and there's no bubble. There is certainly a bubble, and these are certainly the issues why. But let's talk about the 10 things that scare the crap out of me. Number 10, Evergrande. I don't know what that does. I've heard it called everything from like who knows? Plus they printed money to bail it out. Plus it's still 200 billion or 500 billion dollars in debt or whatever it is. It has holdings in the United States. It has holdings in every country in the world. It's a problem. And that one got swept under the carpet. A lot of people talked about it. And then at some point, oh, the government stepped in. It's too big to fail kind of thing. That didn't really correct the issue. Number 9, jobs report and or incomes from jobs, right? So I just got the email. 4.6 million people stopped working last month. That's bad. And generally speaking, the top 100 metros, people don't make enough to be able to afford rents or loan payments in the top 100 markets. In fact, the gap is dramatic. And historically, they run parallel. There's not a great craziness that's out of control. The job and income ratio works out to what appreciation should be. And in fact, it's going the other way. Jobs are going down, and what people are making is going down as well. It's another reason why it's assuredly a bubble. Number 8, the supply chain shortage. Again, I don't know what this does, and nobody seems to talk about it, but apparently we don't have any supplies. Feel free to go into your local market. I still think it's really weird. Now I can't get blue cheese for some reason. That doesn't seem to exist. For a while, I couldn't get iceberg lettuce. You should keep an eye on that. It means that what goods we have will increase. So you have to look at this. Let me give you some asset manager stuff. Macroeconomics, right? If we have less supplies, those prices go up. Our money goes to food first, okay? And then it should be shelter, and then it should be, transportation, in my opinion. So we're at the highest rate of defaults on cars. We've got people who aren't being able to pay for their house, and certainly there aren't extra checks or stimulus checks coming in from the government. The cost of goods are going up. The cost of oil has gone up, which means less money. And if people aren't working or they're making less, then that's a problem. It's the acceleration of what people are making should happen to accommodate for what's basically turning into a bad situation. Which takes us to number 7, Michael Burry. If you don't know Michael Burry, he is the character from The Big Short, played by Christian Bale, who is a very real guy who did foresee the 2000 bubble crash. That's not why I'm interested in him. His very special Rain Man type powers, much like my own, he speaks to me. He is betting against the zero interest rate. He's betting on hyperinflation. He's betting on the bond, against the bond. He's betting against the bond. He's betting against the bond market that has continued to appreciate because the federal government is buying back, right? And they've already said starting November, which you're 2 weeks away from, they're going to start tapering off the zero interest rate. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I don't have an hour to explain tapering and zero interest rates correctly. For those of you that know what it is, let me explain. The last time they tried to taper off of a zero interest rate, the stock market responded by crashing. So I've got all these factors in play. So does a stock market crash affect real estate? Yes, real estate's a commodity owned by publicly traded companies, a good portion of them. And if they get desperate and they want to make money, what's to keep them from selling? What's to keep BlackRock from selling? at the top of the market. And what would that do? I've heard that it's only 10% of the market, or investors only account for 10 or 20% of the market. Okay. If it's a commodity like gold and the price is going down, you're going to see a lot of properties come back onto the market. And yes, supply and demand, people, it will have an effect. 5 properties in your area would have an effect. I don't know why people think that for some reason, oh, we need 1 million properties to come online. They're not going to come online like you think. They're going to be like 5 in this area and 4 in this area. I'm amazed at the lack of knowledge that people have about all of this. 6, hyperinflation. We are going to be in a recession, and you should probably stock up on toilet paper based on a supply shortage and everything else that's going on. I don't know, but the value of the dollar is crap, and it needs to be corrected. Okay, I'm tired of paying an extra $1.50 for my milk. I'm tired of going to the store. Personally, I have money. Okay, I'm very blessed and fortunate. I have a great coaching group. I'm able to take care of everything in my life. But the reality of going to the store and getting a bag of groceries for $100 is kind of ridiculous when everything in my bag is a Kroger brand, basically. I'm blown away at the valuation of the dollar. I'm a keto eater, so I constantly eat the same thing, right? And I've seen the price go up constantly. Blows my mind. Number 5, where did the news reporters go? By the way, at the end of the last moratorium ending, we were story number 2 on renters eviction, right? Well, people who made less than $99,999. Because if you made more than $99,999, you weren't entitled to bailout or funds on your rent or on your loan. You had to make less. Apparently, that's what either being rich is or being middle class. This was only for those who were deemed below $99,999. So didn't have much of an impact here in San Diego, in my opinion. But there was a lot of reporting. It was story number 2 starting right after midnight at the end of the moratorium. It was in the news cycle every 5 minutes in story number 2 or number 3. Well, they're not reporting. The moratorium's over. People are being evicted. You can go on YouTube and you can watch the local news talk about it, but the national doesn't seem to care about it at all anymore. Number 3, if it wasn't so bad, why are the banks still staying so quiet? Here's what I know after working in banks for more than my adult life. I've grown up inside of a bank. Banks are a propaganda machine that want your money. Then they hire very ruthless people like me to collect that money when you don't pay. It's not bad what I do for a living. It's the fact that people like me enjoy what we do for a living. True. If you're wondering if that has deep lasting psychological scars, let me confirm it for you. The reality is they like to put out, remember Washington Mutual? Hey, we're the guys who wear jeans and khaki shirts or whatever, we're the other guys. All banks think like that. They want you to come in and bring money so that they can lend your money out to other people because they only have to hold a percentage of that money in their bank. It's called let's not get into an explanation of how the dollar works. My point is they are very big at press releases. There was a very significant event that you can go watch on YouTube that tells you just exactly how bad the current situation is for real estate and the economy at this moment. Jamie Dimon was on that power Zoom call with the president, right? When Biden referred to him as my friend Jamie Dimon knows all about it. Here's exactly what Jamie Dimon said in a nutshell about item number 1, the everything bubble that they pushed off for 2 weeks. And I'll talk about it in a minute. But Jamie Dimon said, we're in a very delicate market. Huh. That doesn't sound good. Do you want to expand upon it? No, he wanted to push the agenda of not having the crash happen sooner than they want it to. I don't think you can keep the economy from crashing. I think it is now literally impossible. We have so constantly gone way far right to way far left, right? Holding too much money back, spending too much money, holding too much money. there is nothing center of the ship about balancing budgets. The last administration spent trillions. This administration is on record pace to print trillions of dollars, right? Okay, all that crap aside, that makes the value of the dollar less. And yes, it does affect you in real estate. Me, myself, if I were working at a bank right now, it's what I do. Wake up every day and I watch the news report and I see what the value of the dollar is. Because if I were to get a property to do any kind of work in the pre-foreclosure division, right? I need to know what the projected value is if I'm going to foreclose on that property. All of these things matter. They do. And the bank staying silent through all of this scares the shit out of me, to be perfectly honest. Banks have no issue telling you when everything is great at a bank because it increases their stock price. They're not doing any of that stuff. In fact, there are very few reports. The last report that came out, they were stating that approximately 10% of their portfolio was not performing. Let me reframe it the way they all did their press release. Hey, 90% of our portfolio is paying on time. Okay, I'm a banker, so I'm not good at math, but 90 minus 100 leaves me 10. That means 10% of your portfolio is not performing. That's millions and millions and millions and millions of people who aren't paying. Okay? It's a very, very big deal. Yeah, as I said before, the zero interest rate, that's a problem. They're going to start tapering. You'll see the effects of that in November. Once they start to taper, we're in trouble because it'll affect the stock market and it affects publicly traded companies. And number one, the everything bubble. The thing we pushed off to December, the thing we want to print $1 trillion coin about, right? If they can't come to an agreement on raising the debt ceiling, that is a problem. It's been done historically, but I almost get the feeling, understand, I'm not right or left. I think they both work together to do what they're doing to us currently, which is to either give us or take away what they give to us. That's kind of what they do. I look at it from a marketing standpoint. I think we have no choice. I think that a recession is inevitable. I think that a real estate crash, I know a real estate crash is inevitable. I know a recession is inevitable. The question is how big. If you're asking Michael Burry, he's saying it's bigger than 2007. If you're asking me, I don't know, it seems like about 88 size. When I first came into the market, I don't know if it's 2007 big. I mean, crashing actual companies. We had so many companies that went out of business already. I think it cleaned up all the bad driftwood to begin with. But if you're on this call, let me tell you how it is for the real estate community, right? People think the real estate is a good way to work. We got 150,000 new agents over the last month because they think this is the place to be because real estate values are so great. So people are signing up to become real estate agents. So you guys are all competing for real estate out of traditional sellers, right? And working with traditional buyers. And more agents are coming online for those. I propose a different solution for everybody on this call, which is why not go where there are more leads? And I know for a fact, because I've been coaching this for 11 years and my coaching group has been doing this for the last 11 years. And over the last couple of months, I can tell you this definitively. I can tell you where to go get listings right now. And I can get that listing for you in a few weeks, but you have to be prepared to work with distressed properties. I mean, the truth of the matter is 95% of all of us have a fear of being able to provide. You're going into the world of distress. These are people who blame the bank for their problems and not take responsibility for them themselves. I have a fear of being able to provide. It is the number one fear on the planet. And the truth is, it's because I have a why. This is my daughter who I'm trying not to stare at the screen or I'll start to cry. It's late in the day. This is my everything to me. I mean, that's reality. This is literally everything to me. 100%. It's the reason I get up. It's the reason that I coach you guys. It's the reason I want to help 1 million homeowners. It's the reason I want to be a better man. She's about to go off to college, and I'm going to miss her a lot. As a divorced single dad, it's just, I feel for all the single parents out there. That's their why. Can you imagine you lose your job? You're going to fight to keep your home. It's a very difficult process. In the past, prior to the pandemic, people fought to hold on to their houses. Because of the value appreciation that's happened into the market, people are selling and cashing out their equity so that they can take care of their why. It is because of this child that in 2010 I created marketing. Some of you on this call have used it. It's been called Monster Marketing, AMS. Called it a bunch of different names. I created it back in 2007 when I was working with Short Sale Genius. I actually offered it to them, but they didn't go with it. They went with my yellow legal pad approach. Go figure. It's gotten me featured on all the different news sites. The original book itself was named a bestseller. It got me named one of the most innovative marketers in America and one of the top 100 marketers in America for 10 years over this one thing. And with your permission, I'd like to share it with you guys real quickly before we get out of here. Is that okay? We got about 15 minutes left, and I know I'm kind of going long today, but understand mentors have mentors. For people who haven't seen me in a long time, I've gone through a lot of changes over the last 18 months, and I would highly recommend this to anybody else. Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements has had a fundamental impact on the way I view and do life. Permission-based marketing, those that have followed me, those that have been a part of my coaching group, understand that I am a permission-based marketer. A man I'd like to call mentor and friend, Seth Godin, wrote the most singly amazing book I've ever read. It changed my life. When I went down the road of doing marketing as a bank guy and learning everything and applying psychology and doing this as my day job, I became the foremost leading authority on distressed property marketing in America because of Seth Godin. And I'm very happy to say that. Last but not least, Rhonda Byrne. You guys are in a very negative business, to say the very least. I, at one point, had a real estate license, and I also developed houses. And what I noticed when I worked in that industry, it seems to me that you'd go to networking events and talk about listings you didn't have or how other people had listings or things of that nature, right? It's a very negative driven have not kind of world. I would say this: if you want to be more successful, I would tell you to pick up a copy of The Secret. Rhonda Byrne did a great book. There is nothing crazy or mystical, or I meditate, I manifest, and I stay positive, and I manifest the outcomes that I want. You should too. If you want listings, you should probably learn how to do it. It's not any hokey secrets and incantations. It's about the right mindset. People pay thousands of dollars to fly out to these events for some of these big coaches, only to hear mindset speeches. Let me save you guys a lot of money. Get The Secret. I'm going to show you my system, and I'm going to show you how we market. I'm going to show you my marketing pieces, and I'm going to do it all in the next 15 minutes, and then I'll answer questions for anybody that's on the call. As I said before, I am giving you guys a link. On that link is a place. I'll show you one more time, because it's that important. Because some of you are late. You are late. I will admit to it. On that event page is a thing that says marketing pieces. When you click on it, it'll take you over to this little Google Drive. All the marketing pieces you see that I'm going to talk about are here, including the PowerPoint itself. And I think I've even included, but we're going to talk about this alternatives to foreclosure and introduction letter, and it will be very beneficial to all of you on the call. All right. So, and there's also 2 links. As I said before, if you're a previous coaching student, there's a discount. Right now, my CEO has still got the price rolled back, which is why I'm trying to crank out webinars before the price goes up. I know everybody says that. I know the system that I have. I know we're getting listings. I have the testimonials. I'm going to show you the actual leads. I'm going to show you the actual marketing pieces. My approach is not only working, we're at a time in the market where people are actually selling. So we're seeing listings from first marketing in 3 to 6 weeks when you are consistent in your follow-up. So if you're struggling to get a listing, our offer is very good. It's a one-time fee. I'm just going to tell you right now, when the webinar is over, the 2 bonuses I'm going to hand out are going to go with me. I don't do them after the webinar for people who sign up after the webinar. Got it? And that includes people that are upgrading as previous students. There's a one-time fee for an upgrade because we now provide leads and we provide the call center and we provide a lot more than that. All right, let me show you how everything works. We have 3 modules. One is the Main Home Advocates Marketing System. It's an overview training video, We have a home advocates community where Wade Wright today, a brand new student, I believe, put some kind of motivational scripture quote on it. Cool. As long as it's not harmful or hurting or anything negative or political, I'm cool. Or anything against keto, I think, as well, would make me upset. The last is the hub. The hub itself is the center, much like its name, where we have everything. We have the 12-step program. For those of you that are on the call, that was what we called it Monster Marketing, then we called it AMS with David Bartel's partnership. I now call it the 12-step program, and if you're wondering if that's kind of a quote for the Bill W. fans in the room, yes. And in fact, my 12-step program has 13 steps, which is a very funny inside AA joke. The second is what I call the face-to-face method. I actually pitched that pretty hard today to our group. They asked me which marketing method I prefer. I prefer the face-to-face method because it was the hardest to create. A coaching call link. We do 3 coaching calls per day. You can find the coaching calls on that page. Tuesday at 9 o'clock, Wednesday at 9 o'clock, Thursday at 9 o'clock. Tuesday at 9 o'clock is marketing with me. Today I released a postcard approach that's in the test phase. I'm actually going to show you those pieces, but because they just literally the idea and the creation, and I want things on the market, right? We're out of time. Market's changing. So I'm trying to roll out marketing pieces and find the most effective and quickest ways to get in front of homeowners. And I'll show you why those cards are more effective than a standard postcard to a distressed homeowner. The next is our Express Buyer program. We do have our own iBuyer program. They pay fair market value. Shocker. I found investors that will pay whatever your commission is, whatever you took the commission for, and they'll pay fair market value. Shocking, right? Not really. We have an investor program here. I work with the local RIAs, and I have quite a few investors. Historically, I always get investors. In fact, I'm thinking of going to the LA real estate, what is it, the LA RIACon or whatever it is on October 31st. They just invited me to have a table there. And I'll probably go. Probably. I haven't decided yet, actually. I was hoping to go to the Chargers versus Patriots that day, but neither here nor there. You submit your deal, agent or investor. I will personally review it and tell you how you can best monetize it if you want to do it for investment purposes. If it needs money on it, we'll help you get people that have money on it. If we have assistance with I want to make it clear with the company. If you use the iBuyer program or you use our investor submission portal for assistance, we make 1% on the transaction. We don't ask for any money on any of your deals, not on the leads we give you, not on anything. We only have a one-time investment fee. I'm not looking for monthly payments. Again, I'm making good money. I don't need to be egregious about it. I just don't. The latest one was Think Like Me. A bunch of our students recently had undergone surgery for some remarkable reason. So I put in a bunch of video and audio that I thought would be beneficial to those people. We have all of the archives of all of the marketing I've ever created for the last 10 years. And emotionally, that was very interesting for the last decade. But I pulled it all out and I compiled it. Whatever I created with David, whatever I created with myself, I made one massive. I actually have to clean that up this week and turn it into something a little more cohesive for each meeting, per the request of my CEO and my coaching students. And I've been avoiding it because it's 10 years of my history and life. And I don't know about you guys. Walking down memory lane isn't always fun with me. And last but not least, I have captured over 1,000 hours of training videos with David Bartels, with individuals at my live events. And now is no different, right? In March, we're going to have our live event again. And we're looking forward to live events again. Actually, we started doing live presentations, then the COVID variant hit, and then we went back to it. And last, we have white label books for all of you as well. So you can be the author of all those. Now for what you guys actually asked about, how is it that you guys get face-to-face? Currently we're coaching 2 methods and we're actually testing a 3rd as of today. Method number 1 is what I call the face-to-face method. I call it Talk It Up. It was created by me for me. I'm shy. I don't like rejection. I joke all the time. I don't think I've ever asked anybody out on a date. I've asked a lot of people to marry me, but I haven't asked a lot of people out on dates. I'm Actually pretty shy that way. Can't read the scene very well. And yeah, I kind of do walk around in the tie a little more than I care to, much like right now. When I'm out with my daughter, I'm a t-shirt dad, and it's great. In fact, I think she has a presentation on Saturday. Good. Reminder note. The reason I'm telling you all that, inevitably, whether I'm out with her or I'm out as the banker guy, someone will ask me what I do. I am going to give you something for being on this call for 52 minutes, and you're going to be on the call for about another 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to give you something very special at this moment. You're not going to think it's special, but it's hugely special. All of you have been asked, what do you do? I get asked it every day. I'm going to tell you what your answer is. I fix broken real estate. I don't care if you do traditional real estate. Saying I fix broken real estate separates you from everybody who would answer, I do real estate or I'm a realtor. That's not a thing, okay? Fixing broken real estate is a purpose. When you tell people a purpose, they can connect with that purpose. That is a psychological fact. Let my psychology degrees help you out. You want to connect with your clients. Connecting gets you referrals. We have a very simple principle. Connect and engage. Starts with your packaging, right? So when I say that, I fix broken real estate, it begs the second question. What do you mean? I work with people who've missed payments. I then pull out my card. It's the same card that we offer to every one of our students. You can all have it when you invest and join our program. On the front is a testimonial for the company. I personalize mine to my name, but there's the generic one that she actually sent, and it's thanks to Home Advocates. I just added Lee for the sake of doing this, but the actual one is thanks to Home Advocates. You are a part of Home Advocates when you join with whatever experience level, right? I hand this card over and I tell them I work with people who've missed payments or they got a forbearance and they don't know they're in default. Do you or somebody you know, someone who's missed a payment or did a forbearance? They're in default. Let me write down my cell phone number on the front. I don't give this out to everybody, but I'm going to give it out to you. And then before I go, I do the following, and I'm going to show you one of the biggest values that our system brings to people. I tell them to pull out their phone, and I would tell everybody on this call, feel free to do this yourself, okay? Open up Google, open up a browser wherever you are. Open up a browser, go to Google, and I want you to type in Home Advocates. You want to persuade people and you want to understand why you're not getting more listings consistently. 90% of the real estate agents that I encounter and consult with do not have the correct website. That's right. 90% of the real estate agents I encounter, I cannot Google, I cannot find their website, I cannot find anything about them. I cannot verify their existence. I cannot find their credibility. If you want to persuade people, you need credibility. So I'm going to give you automatic credibility when you invest in the program. I tell people, open up Google, type in Home Advocates. Our company is line one over national organizations, line number one. And on the front page of that website, I'll show you. Where are you? There you are. And on the front page of that website, where are you? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, it's this one. Let me go backwards. If you go to the front page of this website, home, right? When you click on Home Advocates, all of our agents are listed on the front page of the website. Here's also what we did. Your clients or the people you meet on the street can call Home Advocates. We have an 800 number. It's 833-WOW-HOPE. If they call and say, ask for Connie Gata or Alex Zukovich, right? We know who they are. We know what their email is. They come in through our Grasshopper system and we forward them the message. We also have a general email. And again, they're all listed under our contacts as well, right? It's all here. And they are a part of this website. They are a part of this team, along with me and along with my CEO. Simple as that. I don't know many people that get line one, page one with their name on it when they invest in a brand new system. I have yet to see that actually on the market. The second method which is the one most people know is my 12-step program that has 13 steps. Steps 1 and 2 are to notify us. We send you leads. Tell us the areas you want. We'll send you some leads. Let us know what initials you'll be using and when you're starting. That's steps 1 and 2. Step 3, order Avery labels 6464s. What are those? They are labels that come 6 to a page made by Avery, and they are repealable. I'm going to show you what they look like. You're going to download our pre-created marketing piece, and it looks just like this. They are delivery labels. I am the Amazon of delivering home advocates. On there will be a pre-printed 800 number, and then you just print a couple of these out on your repealable labels. Next, you're going to pick out 12 properties that you like from the list that we sent you. Pick them because they're close or together. You're going to go on Root Excel and you're going to map them out. Then you're going, by the way, if you're reading this going, this seems awfully simple. Yeah, it takes about an hour twice a day, and you should have about 3 or 4 appointments a week. And I'm going to prove it to you here in a second. You're going to prepare the marketing pieces. Write your marketing pieces out in order, because you're going to go to 12 different properties and put these up. You're going to follow your Root Excel map. Go to house number 1, get out of your car. Do not knock on the door. Do not engage with the client. You're going to place that marketing piece with their last name and a tracking number that we tell you how to set up. And you're going to place it on the outside of the mailbox, the front door, or the garage door, somewhere where they can find it. Simple as that. You're going to put all 12 of those up. You're not going to do 100 of them. I don't want you working 40 to 50 hours a week. I want you out marketing for 2 hours per week for your appointments. And you will have more appointments than any other program or any other marketing approach in real estate. I'm getting close to guaranteeing that, but I'm sure somebody's got something wacky out there for an unqualified. These are face-to-face appointments. When they find the marketing piece, they will call the 800 number. And no, it's not 888-8888. Wait, I'm going to show you what the call center number here is in a minute. So it's on a new test piece we're running right now. They'll call, and they will tell them that we have a homeowner advocate who wants to come over and talk to them about their alternatives to foreclosure. Just wait. I will forward them to you. This is what it looks like. This is my email box for at-home advocates. I receive from our call center the leads from these. This is literally a 1-hour stretch of me redirecting these emails over to the actual agent. I believe this is Chris Butler. Good run. SR Stephen Rue. This would be Las Vegas. These all happen in the same hour. I just pulled them so that I had them for this, and I keep using them. Who's SC in 209? I'd have to think about that. Richard French. That's a good one. All of these are leads, and these are all appointments that my agents have. My question is, how many appointments have you guys had in the last couple of weeks, especially with the market being as competitive as it is at this moment? And now we're testing out a postcard. This actually went out today to my coaching students for a test. They had to be on the call today. We actually made postcards with our 800 number on it, right? I told them to get 100 names. We don't do bulk leads for you guys. So I told them the sources of where to go get it, how to fill them out. On the back, let me see if it's on here. We added an extra box, right? So they can write in their name as an advocate, and there's a spot also for them to write in a tracking number. And we also made an alternative front as well. And they're going to send out 100 per week for 4 weeks. If they want to do it, they can do it. If they don't, they don't. That's how it works. But we had a lot of them ask and say that they wanted to test it. There are typos on it. There are all kinds of little issues. What I want to see is if you send out 100 postcards on a Monday, does it get me 1 or 2 extra appointments that week? And if you can do this from home and still wind up getting 1 to 3 meetings per week without 2 hours of driving around, you are now increasing. I'm a work smart, not hard guy. Okay. I fundamentally do not believe in doing 40 to 50 hours to go get one face-to-face appointment like some real estate coaches want you to believe. Next, I'm going to show you the scripts on how to use that stuff that you can download. And I appreciate you guys just staying on for another 5 minutes. I'm all done after this. I'm going to show you the scripts and how simple it is. You will get appointments if you use that method. We do 3 coaching calls and 1 private one-on-one. So when you invest in the program, You get a private one-on-one, shows you how to do the system. And then you get 3 coaching calls per week, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. For the next 12 weeks, I am releasing one new marketing method on the Tuesday call each and every week for my coaching student. Today was the postcard. I actually got the proofs back and I'm letting them go send it out. I'll have results before the end of the year. Should be a module within the next 30 days on the actual hub. Very exciting. But these are the scripts, and this is what we teach. When you get an appointment, either from the postcard or the face-to-face method or anything, the only thing I ask of anybody who joins my program is the first appointment. Don't go there all hot and horny to get a listing. Go on your first appointment to educate them. That's what I ask. I completely underprice my program to make it affordable for everybody in every market. I know what the actual value is. I know what people charge out there in the market. I have always tried to make my investment prices competitive. It's why I make my upgrades competitive. It's why I make my events reasonably priced. What I'm asking you to do on the first appointment is follow my script. Hi, my name's Lee. I'm a homeowner advocate. Are you aware that you're actively in foreclosure? Hand over a copy of their NOD, NOS, list pendant, or auction date. I'm sure you guys can all do that. Everyone agree they can do that? Okay, step 2. I'm a homeowner advocate in your area. I'm here to read you your alternatives to foreclosure. Hand them over a copy of the, download that marketing piece and I'll have one, and they'll have one. And then I'll read it to them. Hey, number 1, you can do nothing. Pay off or refinance, reinstatement, partial claim, deed in lieu of foreclosure, bankruptcy, loan modification, forbearance. And then number 9, sell. Now, I didn't put the explanations on each one. It is on the form. I don't expect anybody to be me. It was a big thing with my coaching students, right? No one is going to swallow a bank or be me. Nobody's going to do that except for me. The reason I'm telling you guys all of that is you don't have to be. They want somebody that they can trust and like. Most people don't trust and like me because I am ultimately a banker. I am a know-it-all asshole when it comes to distressed properties. And I get that. When you need me to talk to your clients as part of this program, I will talk to your clients if they need an explanation. I'm not here to script them. I'm not here to put them into a listing. I'm here to educate them. That is my personal mission. Your mission is to get listings while helping homeowners. Remember the order. You're helping homeowners, and in exchange for that, you're going to get lots of listings, right? I'm helping you guys in exchange. It's helping me in, well, paying for college for my daughter. When you are done with the appointment, you're going to look at him and say, hey, I just have one question before you leave. What did the bank do to you? When you invest, I recommend going and looking at the archives of some of our live events. This came out of Nino Sabroso, and it's one of my favorite lines. And this is our, I'm sure everyone on this call can do this script. They'll give you 20 or 30 minutes explaining why they didn't make the payment or how the bank is screwing them or somebody did something fraudulent. Everybody did something fraudulent when people can't pay, or COVID or Biden or Trump. Who cares? My only question before I leave, I'd like to come back and follow up with you. Is there more additional information I can bring you? Yeah, I'd like to learn about forbearances or loan mods. Cool. Can I schedule a time to come back? Sure, you can come back in X amount of days, right? Call them, follow up, and you go back. On your second appointment, you're going to bring them the information. If necessary, you can use some of the ask the banker questions, and if really necessary, I'll talk to them. Step 2, ask the big question. Have you decided what you're going to do? If they say anything other than sell the property, you're going to respond, I understand, and I hope that works out for you. I just have one question before I go. What's your plan B? You want to position yourself as their alternative. Doesn't matter. They'll tell you they're going to go to the bank or they're going to hire an attorney. That's cool. What's your plan B? Can I follow up with you? And what we've seen from first appointment to actual listing is approximately 3 to 6 weeks if you're consistent with your follow-up. It's just that simple. If you're going to the front door looking for immediate listings, yeah, you'll probably get one if you go to enough appointments. I mean, that's just the law of averages. That's not how we work. This is about creating a long-term funnel, right? Go follow up and start producing listings on a consistent basis. It's just that simple. So along with the hub, the 12-step on the hub, there's the 12-step program, the face-to-face marketing system, being on the front page, you personally being on the front page of a Google search, all of our coaching calls, which are cataloged in 3 coaching calls per day, plus 1 private one-on-one, our express buyer our express home buyer investor program, our investor, we call it express investor. It's an investor submission that we help them structure the deal. Our archives of all the marketing pieces, our archives of all the live trainings, over 1,000 hours. I've been doing this for 11 years for real estate agents, and the archive white label books, plus a couple of bonuses for just being on the call. And I'm going to tell you what they are, because when I get to the end of this, it's all over. So how do you join? You go to that link I just sent you, right? I'll do it one more time. Go to this link I just sent you. Boom. Scroll down, there are 2 links. The first one, you click on it. If I have never worked before with you and I've never met you before, and this is your first time, sorry, you weren't in any of my other coaching programs. $19.97, that's 66% off. As I said before, our regular online price is $5,000. My CEO, I'm pissed about this. It's at $19.97 still. The market's already changing. On here are the entire system and what we're adding, what we're working on, and of course the terms in the offer. Simple as that. If I've worked with you before, if you're a previous AMS monster or short sale genius person, click this link. I will then confirm the information. It's a one-time upgrade fee. You already know what I have by doing the leads and doing the call center and creating new ways of using my stuff. So it's just that simple. It's a one-time fee, no monthly fee. Upgrade if you're a previous student. And if you sign up today, along with the 3 bonuses I'm about to give you, you get the Home Advocate Lee Honish 11-year-old guarantee. Same guarantee I've been giving for 11 years. If I don't get you face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom, because there is COVID, right? We will refund 100% of your investment, no question asked. That's how confident I am in my marketing approaches. These aren't crazy hard 40, 50 hours, go knock on more doors. This is a couple of hours. Okay, that's it. And this method will get you meetings this week. Now, I'm giving you 3 bonuses. And that's till I'm done answering questions and I turn this all off, and I know we're 10 minutes over already. The first one is you'll get a squeeze page funnel, custom squeeze page funnel with your name and a personalized web link. And if you don't know what a squeeze page is, it's just like Russell Brunson's. I've already made one, and I can put your name on it and make it custom for you. They've got the pop-ups. You will be the writer of a book called Save Me, the alternatives to foreclosure post-COVID-19, the alternatives to payoff to build your credibility. It'll be on a private URL directly for you. You can actually tell people, hey, go check out my book. Or if you meet someone, go tell them you wrote a book, and you put them right on this. And it's a squeeze page as well. That's number 1. I personally do those as a side hustle. I originally did them, I think, so that I had extra Vegas money when I started making squeeze pages on the side. But that's a $4.97 value. That is exactly what I sell it for. Number 2, for those that sign up today, I will give you 1 hour of my personal time. Let me turn this thing off. Oops, wrong one. There you go. Now I can see you guys. Let me move the camera over so I can see questions as well. Number 2, I will give you an hour of my time. I will help you build a marketing plan. I will help you with direction. I charge $500 an hour. I do 10 hours. That is what I do when I am consulting. I come in for 10 hours and I rebuild people. I will dedicate an hour to helping you and helping you create a business plan, or making sure you get everything set up that you need to get set up. Number 3, I'll give you a couple of tickets for the March event. These are they're actually full price $297. I think we're doing them for coaching students right now for $97, so we'll call it a couple $100. That's an extra $1,200 in value for those signing up. That's a lot of value if it's your first time with me. If you're upgrading because you already know that I do all these things, or you've been to my other events, you're basically getting all the upgrades plus another $1,200 in value. And you can have those 3 bonuses by signing up before I turn this webinar off. I am now going to be happy to answer any of your questions that you might have or show you things on screens.